Hello students, I hope you all are fit and fine and you all are reading at your home. Students, do you remember in our previous video we had talked about the physical properties of metals and non-metals. In this class we are going to talk about chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So today we will talk the chemical properties of both metals and non-metals, but first we will talk about the chemical properties of metals. So let's start. Students, in class 7 you have learned about the litmus paper test. I hope you remember. So before we start the chemical properties of metals, let's revise once again that what is litmus paper test. So, when red litmus paper turns blue in solution, the solution is basic in nature. When blue litmus paper turns red in solution, the solution is acidic in nature. So, I hope you remember. So, students, let's start chemical properties of metals. So, first, reaction with oxygen. Metals react with oxygen to form metal oxides. Metal oxides are basic in nature. So it means that when metal react with oxygen, it gives metal oxide, and these metal oxides are basic in nature, means turn red litmus blue and form alkalis with water. So alkali can be defined as a base that dissolve in water. So base that dissolve in water is known as alkali. So students, let's talk something more with example. So students, let's talk about some reactions of metal with oxygen. Sodium metal react with the oxygen of air at room temperature to form a basic oxide called sodium oxide. So you can just see reaction. Sodium react with oxygen to give sodium oxide. Student, always write equations in balanced form. It is very important. So students, before going to reaction, let's talk about magnesium metal. Magnesium is a metal. Now let's take a magnesium wire, hold it with a pair of tongues and heat it over a flame. Magnesium wire burns vigorously. Vigorously means forcefully. So magnesium wire burns vigorously, producing a bright white light to form an ash. And that ash is what? That ash is magnesium oxide. तो मैग्नीशियम वायर को जब हम बर्न करते हैं, सो इट जस्ट बर्न विगोरसली प्रोड्यूसिंग अ वाइट लाइट टू फॉर्म एन ऐश. अब वो जो हमें ऐश मिलता है जलने के बाद, मैग्नीशियम वायर जब बर्न हो जाता है तो बर्न होने के बाद जो हमें ऐश मिलता है उसको हम कहते हैं मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड. वी पुट दिस मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड ऐश इन अ बॉइलिंग ट्यूब. नाउ वी विल ऐड अ लिटिल वाटर इन द बॉइलिंग ट्यूब एंड शेक इट. What we will find? We will find that magnesium oxide dissolved in water partially. We now add some red litmus solution to the boiling tube and observe the change in color. What we will see? We will see that red litmus solution turns blue. This shows that magnesium oxide is basic in nature, because only basic solution turns red litmus to blue. So now it is clear that magnesium is a metal which forms a basic oxide, that is magnesium oxide, on burning in air. So now let's see that magnesium metal does not react with oxygen at room temperature, but on heating, magnesium metal burns in air, giving intense heat and light to form a basic oxide called magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide is a white powder. So you just go through reaction that magnesium when react with oxygen, it gives magnesium oxide, which is a basic oxide. So students, let's see that Aluminium metal burns in air on heating to form aluminium oxide. So let's go through reaction. Aluminium react with oxygen to give aluminium oxide, and this aluminium oxide is amphoteric oxide. Amphoteric oxides are both acidic as well as basic. So students, now we discuss the reaction of iron metal with oxygen of air which take place in nature. So students, before we will discuss about this reaction, you first give me answer. What is rust? So very simple. It's iron oxide, which is a material that has iron and oxygen in it. About rust, I already explained to you in class 7 also. So I hope you remember. So students, you know that iron is a metal. You have learned that when iron reacts with oxygen to form a different substance that is called rust, it is a chemical reaction. So students, let's talk about the reaction of iron metal with oxygen of air which take place in nature. So student, about rusting of iron you have already learnt in class 7. During the rusting of iron metal combines slowly with the oxygen of air in the presence of water to form a compound called iron oxide. This iron oxide is rust. So you can just see on the screen. So we can say that iron react with oxygen to form iron oxide. So you just see that iron combines with oxygen plus water. It means that oxygen along with water. And we will get a compound that is known as iron oxide, and this iron oxide is known as rust. Students, let's talk about the reaction of copper metal with moist air which take place in nature. What is moist air? Moist air is a mixture of dry air and water vapor. When a copper object is exposed to moist air for a long time, then copper react with water, carbon dioxide and oxygen present in moist air to form a green coating on the copper object. The green coating is a mixture of copper hydroxide, that is CuOH2, and copper carbonate, that is CuCO3, which is formed by the action of moist air on copper object. So let's see the reaction. When copper react with water, carbon dioxide and oxygen present in moist air, it gives a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate, which is known as green coating. Thus, when a copper vessel is exposed to moist air for a long time, it acquires a green coating on its surface. The mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate which forms the green coating is commonly known as basic copper carbonate because it is basic in nature. Students, the formation of green coating of basic copper carbonate on the surface of copper objects on exposure to moist air is called corrosion of copper. So I hope it is clear to you that what is the green substance? Green substance is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So students, now let's see that reaction of metal with water. So when metal react with cold or hot water, we will get metal hydroxide and hydrogen. Remember, when metal react with cold or hot water, we will get metal hydroxide and hydrogen. But when metal react with steam, we will get metal oxide and hydrogen. So I hope it is clear to you. So now let's see some example. Potassium react violently with cold water to form potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So potassium is very reactive metal and it reacts violently, means forcefully, with cold water to form potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Heat is also liberated during reaction. So it shows that potassium is very reactive metal and reaction is also very strong. Sodium reacts vigorously with cold water, forming sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So sodium is also reactive metal and it also reacts with cold water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas, and heat is also liberated during reaction. So liberation of heat shows that both these metals are very reactive. Students, sodium is a very reactive metal. It reacts with moisture, oxygen and other gases present in air. So if sodium metal is kept exposed to air, it will react with the various components of air and get spoiled. In order to prevent its reaction with the moisture and other gases of air, sodium metal is always stored under kerosene. Potassium metal is also highly reactive, so potassium metal is also stored in kerosene. Calcium reacts with cold water to form calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Magnesium metal does not react with cold water. Magnesium reacts with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So student, during these reactions, heat is not liberated. So what does it shows? It shows that calcium and magnesium, they are less reactive as compared to sodium and potassium. Students, aluminium react with steam to form aluminium oxide and hydrogen gas. Zinc react with steam to zinc oxide and hydrogen. Red hot iron react with steam to form iron oxide and hydrogen. So students, reaction of metal with water depend on its chemical reactivity. Some metal react vigorously even with cold water, some metal react with hot water and some metal react with steam, whereas some metals do not react even with steam. For example, sodium is a very reactive metal, therefore sodium metals react violently even with cold water. Magnesium is a comparatively less reactive metal, so it reacts slowly with cold water. It reacts rapidly only with hot boiling water or steam. The metals like zinc and iron are less reactive, which react slowly even with steam. And the metal like copper, silver and gold are so unreactive that they do not react with water or even with steam. Students, let's talk about reaction of metal with acids. Most of the metal react with dilute acids to form salt and hydrogen gas. So it means that when metal react with acids, it gives salt and hydrogen gas. Now, only the less reactive metals like copper, silver and gold do not react with dilute acids. The intensity of reaction of metals with dilute acid depend on the chemical reactivity of the metal. Depending on their reactivity, some metals react violently. Violently means explosively with dilute acids. Some metals react rapidly with dilute acids, and some metals react with dilute acid only on heating, whereas some metals do not react with dilute acids at all. So students, let's consider some examples of reaction of some common metals with dilute hydrochloric acid. Sodium metal reacts violently with dilute hydrochloric acid to form sodium chloride and hydrogen. So student, you know that sodium is a very reactive metal. That's why it reacts violently with dilute hydrochloric acid and forms sodium chloride and hydrogen gas. Magnesium reacts quite rapidly with dilute hydrochloric acid, forming magnesium chloride and hydrogen gas. Reaction is given on the screen. You just go through reaction and see it clearly. Students, aluminium metal at first reacts slowly with dilute hydrochloric acid due to the presence of a tough protective layer of aluminium oxide on its surface. तो एल्यूमिनियम मेटल जो होता है वो शुरू में व्हेन इट रिएक्ट विथ डाइल्यूट हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड तो स्टार्टिंग में जो रिएक्शन होता है वो बहुत ही स्लो होता है. क्यों स्लो होता है? बिकॉज एल्यूमिनियम मेटल इट रिएक्ट विथ ऑक्सीजन एंड इट फॉर्म एल्यूमिनियम ऑक्साइड ऑन इट्स सरफेस. तो एल्यूमिनियम मेटल क्या करता है, वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ रिएक्ट करता है व्हेन इट कम इन कांटेक्ट विथ ऑक्सीजन. तो वो ऑक्सीजन के साथ रिएक्ट करता है और एक एल्यूमिनियम ऑक्साइड का प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर बनाता है अपनी चारों तरफ. सो ड्यू टू दैट एट फर्स्ट it reacts slowly with dilute hydrochloric acid. But when the thin outer oxide layer gets dissolved in acid, then fresh aluminium metal is exposed, which reacts rapidly with dilute hydrochloric acid. But जैसे ही एल्यूमिनियम ऑक्साइड जो है वो एसिड के कांटेक्ट में आता है तो वो क्या होता है कि वो प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर जो एल्यूमिनियम ऑक्साइड का है वो डिज़ोल्व हो जाता है. और जैसे ही वो डिज़ोल्व होता है उसके बाद क्या होता है कि फ्रेश एल्यूमिनियम मेटल जो होता है वो बाहर चला आता है. एंड फ्रेश एल्यूमिनियम मेटल रिएक्ट रैपिडली विथ डाइल्यूट हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड. Thus, aluminium metal react rapidly with dilute hydrochloric acid to form aluminium chloride and hydrogen gas. तो जो फ्रेश एल्यूमिनियम मेटल होता है वो डाइल्यूट हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड के साथ रिएक्ट करता है एंड इट फॉर्म व्हाट? एल्यूमिनियम क्लोराइड एंड हाइड्रोजन गैस. Copper does not react with dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid at all. This shows that copper is even less reactive than iron. So now students, metal also react with dilute sulfuric acid to form metal sulfates and hydrogen gas. So let's consider one example. Zinc react with dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. So student, it is clear to you that aluminium, iron and zinc metal also react with dilute hydrochloric acid to form metal chlorides and hydrogen gas. The hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound. When lighted, matchstick is brought near the mouth of test tube containing metal and dilute hydrochloric acid. The less reactive metals like copper, silver and gold do not react with dilute acids like dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. So it means that copper, silver and gold do not produce hydrogen gas with dilute acids. Copper metal also does not react with dilute sulfuric acid to produce hydrogen gas. Copper metal, however, react with hot and concentrated sulfuric acid, but no hydrogen gas is produced. Now one thing which is very important, just I want to clear you that the reaction of metals with acids have some important implications in our daily life. Certain foodstuffs like citrus fruit juices or pickles, chutney and curd, they contain acids. You know this very well. When foodstuffs containing acids are kept in iron, aluminium or copper containers, the acids present in them react with the metal of the container slowly to form toxic salts or poisonous salts. These toxic salts can make us sick and damage our health. So iron, aluminium and copper containers should not be used to store acids foods like citrus fruit juices, pickles, chutneys and curd, etc. So students, let's talk about reaction of metals with bases. So some metal react with bases to form salt and hydrogen gas. So students, now let's see what happens when metals react with bases or hydroxides. Alkalis or bases are hydroxides of metals itself. So remember, don't forget it. So now students, it is clear to you that some metals react with bases to form salts and hydrogen gas. So let's consider example which is given on the screen. Zinc is a metal and sodium hydroxide is a base. When zinc is heated with sodium hydroxide solution, then sodium zincate and hydrogen gas are formed. So sodium zincate is a salt. In the same way, when aluminium metal and sodium hydroxide solution is heated, then sodium aluminate and hydrogen gas are formed. Now student, aluminium and zinc are the two common metals which react with base like sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. In general, we can say that some metals react with sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. Now you have to note one thing, that all the metals do not react with bases like sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. So students, we can demonstrate the formation of hydrogen gas in the reaction of aluminium metal with sodium hydroxide. What we have to do? We have to take 5 ml of freshly prepared sodium hydroxide solution in a boiling tube. Drop a piece of aluminium foil in the sodium hydroxide solution and we have to heat the boiling tube over a burner. Now we have to bring a lighted matchstick near the mouth of a boiling tube. We will find that the gas produced burns with a pop sound, showing that it is a hydrogen gas. So, like acids, metal react with bases and produce hydrogen gas that burns with a pop sound. Students, let's talk about chemical properties of nonmetals. So, nonmetals react with oxygen to form acidic or neutral nonmetal oxides. And when these acidic oxides it react with water, it gives acid. So students, nonmetals react with oxygen to form nonmetal oxides. Now it is clear to you, and these nonmetal oxides are acidic in nature. So nonmetals react with oxygen to form acidic oxides. The acidic nonmetal oxides turns blue litmus to red. So let's consider example. Carbon is a nonmetal. When carbon burns in air, it reacts with oxygen of air to form an acidic oxide called carbon dioxide. And when this carbon dioxide is react with water, it gives carbonic acid. Students, let's consider one more example. When sulfur burns in air, it combines with the oxygen of air to form sulfur dioxide, which is an acidic oxide. When sulfur dioxide dissolves in water to form sulfurous acid solution. This sulfurous acid turns blue litmus to red, showing that it is an acid and that sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature. Do you know that what is formula of sulfurous acid? H2SO3. Now students, we have learned that metal form metal oxides on burning in air. Metal oxides are basic in nature and turns red litmus to blue, whereas non-metal form non-metal oxides on burning in air. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature and turns blue litmus to red. This property of the nature of oxides can be used to identify whether a given element is a metal or a non-metal. This is because if an element forms a basic oxide means which turns red litmus blue, then the element will be a metal. If an element forms an acidic oxide which turns blue litmus red, then the element will be a non-metal. I hope it is clear to you. So students, let's talk about reaction with water. Means reaction of non-metal with water. Non-metal do not react with water. Sulfur is a non-metal. Sulfur does not react with water. In fact, some of the reactive non-metals are kept under water to protect them from the action of air. For example, phosphorus is a very reactive non-metal element. If phosphorus is kept open in the air, it reacts with oxygen of air and catches fire. So, in order to protect phosphorus from atmospheric air, it is stored in a bottle containing water. So, now it is clear to you that phosphorus is a very reactive non-metal, and to protect it from atmospheric air, it is stored in bottle containing water. So now let's talk about reaction of non-metals with dilute acids. Non-metal do not react with dilute acids to form salt and hydrogen gas. For example, if we take some sulfur powder or charcoal powder in a test tube and add dilute hydrochloric acid, then no reaction take place even on heating. This shows that sulfur and carbon nonmetals do not react with dilute acids. So students, some nonmetals react with bases like sodium hydroxide, but no hydrogen gas is produced. The reaction of nonmetal with bases or complex, you will study these reactions in higher classes. So now students, we have completed physical as well as chemical properties of both metals and nonmetals. Now your homework is that you have to make neat and clean note of physical properties as well as chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So that's all for today's class. Main thing is that please read honestly at home, keep smiling at face, stay home, stay healthy, use mask and sanitizer, and keep yourself free from infection. Thanks for watching this video.